Alright. Hey guys. Worm here again. And I just want to take a moment to say hi again. I'm still alive. And yeah, here's another video of a game I had in the GSOR. Not even going to mention the fact that I haven't been here for a while. Happy holidays to everyone who's still subscribed, still watching. And I have a really great game here for you. So hopefully you can enjoy this. Today I'm here in my GSOR. And this is a very nice matchup. Tier 8, top tier game. And I guess I wanted to talk a little bit about the premium tanks that were announced in the Christmas bundle. Mainly the Caliban, the Yo, and the Tornwagen, which are the three new ones. I think those are actually pretty good introductions or additions to the premium tanks as we get our first kill. They are balanced because they're not overpowered because they don't have high DPM. Mainly the Caliban, and the gun handling of that tank is not that great. But it's very novel, which I like, and a lot of players will spend money to get that tank, and I think that's the right way to balance the game, to make tanks that are fun to play and new to play, but aren't necessarily more powerful or even slightly less powerful. You could make an argument that the Caliban's actually quite not competitive because of the gun statistics and the DPM, especially if you don't play it as a one-shot tank. You play it as more of a, you fire the entire clip, because oftentimes you get frustrated that you miss your first shot, and you try to shoot that second shot, and then oftentimes because of the horrific accuracy, you miss. So I actually like what Wargaming has done with the new premiums. I think they did a great job of balancing them and not making them overpowered. So let's get back to the game at hand. We're here in the GSOR. Oh, also, the GSOR is another one of those tanks that was actually, I think, was very well balanced. Like, the reload is very long and it's kind of atrocious. But you can get situations like in this game where you can really, if you're able to reload, if the enemies allow you to reload, you can have a great result. So we're going to showcase that here. First shot, not the first shot, but our first shot on our first connection with the Caliban, and we're only up to 600 damage, which is slightly below average, but still getting the job done. Here, the enemy scout. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit slow, and you're gonna see that the pace of this game is actually quite slow, and it allows me to be able to make these reloads that take a long time, nearly 40 seconds. So here I'm trying to feather the shot, trying to see if I have a shot. I want to reload, but I don't want to waste if I can get damage, And so, I'm just really waiting on my team. And I was thinking in this game whether or not to go on the hill, but I was terrified that the Tornwagen has more armor than me, the AT-15 and the Caliban on their enemy team have way more armor than me. And maybe I could have done something up there, but really because of my reload time, I don't think I could have been very useful going on the hill, which is why I chose not to. Plus my armor is not very effective. Not as effective as the other tanks I just named. The Caliban actually has a decent amount of armor frontally. It is very weak on the side, and so this is a position I recommend when you're defending on the north side. When the enemies are pushing down, you want to knock these trees over to create some cover. And here, I think I get a little bit. I'm trying to be cautious here because I want the bushes to be non-transparent, and unfortunately I'm aiming for such a small part, the cupola, that RNG just says no to me. Probably should have aimed lower And now he's angling his tank, so I decide to hold fire. But honestly, I could have kept firing here. That was green, unfortunately, into the track. And aimed that pretty badly. I probably should have aimed further to the rear. Or saved the shot for the SU. But now I'm on my 40-second reload again. And unfortunately, I can't do anything. And luckily, the AT-15 and the SU-152 are taking their sweet time. And this part is a little bit slower in this game. And I'm not going to say necessarily they did a bad job, but I think if I were in the AT-15 situation, I know that all these tier 6s can't penetrate me, except for me, the GSOR, and I'm high powered. I really need to take me out if I were the AT-15. And so he decides to sit up there for a very long time, just farming these tier 6 and tier 7 tanks, TDs, that are camping. That he really kind of, I don't know. I think he took a little bit too long to push to essentially kill me. But yeah, here I spot him, just trying to get our team to light him up. I want to make sure my 2 shots count or connect and penetrate him. So I'm trying to aim, see if there's any green spots, and now he's looking directly at me. And I want to keep him spotted. I'm hoping my team can track him, because that'll make my shots way easier to connect. And then I decide to shoot at the front plate, connect 2, but now I'm on reload. And I see my team is not even going to track this guy. I think that maybe I could sit here and just light him up. I'm hoping my team will track him. Still staying here. This is kind of a big mistake on my part. I decided to just sit here way too long. And he's just inching closer and closer and closer until, you know, these bushes aren't going to do much when he's like 15 meters away from me. And unfortunately, I have to burn a repair kit. Penetrates me in the side. Penetrates 2 into me. And I'm just trying to run away now. It's way too late. Take 3 shots. 700 damage. And then another 900 damage from this guy. And finally, I'm reloaded. And it looks like I've gone unspotted, since he doesn't shoot again. Or maybe he wasn't reloaded. But now I'm on 55 HP. All because I was too overconfident in my team and being able to track the enemy AT-15. And I think that's another tip I would give, is if you're bottom tier, you know, you can't pen the tank, just track the tank, you know, make it frustrating, make him burn his repair kit, you know, try to keep him tracked, try to keep him annoyed for your higher tier tanks to put in the damage. Because it's not just necessary to know what the enemy, you know, tank's characteristics are, but also the characteristics of the tanks of your allies. If you know that you have a GSOR on your team, you know he has a 40-second reload, right? If he's not shooting, he's probably on that reload. So you have to play to your team's strengths by buying that guy time, or that teammate of yours time. Or if you're in a GSOR, you know, try to stay near your enemies and communicate. Maybe I could have communicated a little bit more that I was on reload. But that's an important thing if you want to get better. So here I'm bracing for, you know, heavy push on the enemy team. They outnumber us 2-1. They have more HP than us, pretty much almost 9 times as much HP as us. 6 to 9 times. So, you know, me and this Hellcat were pretty much one-shots for this Caliban, and most of their tanks. So, and all their tanks have kills, so it's not going to be a freebie. And I'm just being very, very wary of pushing out, because I know the Caliban, another great thing that they did with balancing the Caliban is they didn't give it a good view range. Even if you have a great crew, put equipment on that thing, you're probably not going to get to the 445 max. So, all right, guys, here's editing War Room, and I went back and got on Tanks GG, have the Caliban here, and I set it up how I probably would set it up, and you can actually get max view range. So technically I'm wrong. So yeah, you can get max view range without even using premium consumables. Just Brothers in Arms, Recon, Situation Awareness, and then put optics on. Even if you don't want optics, say you want vertical stabilizers, 422, you put pudding, you're pretty much at max. And then if you put vents, a directive, you get 445. So not true. He could potentially have max view range. Just wanted to make that clear. And I have a full camo crew. This is my FV 4005 crew. So, you know, I have a great crew in this tank. I set it up to, and I'll show you my equipment set after this game as well. I have a optics, improved aiming, and then I believe I have vents to increase the reload slightly. So I want this thing to be a laser. So it has like 0.3, I think 0.31 or 0.30 accuracy. And here I noticed that tree fall, and the Type 58 gets spotted. So I'm waiting for him to get behind the bush, so then when I shoot, I don't get spotted. And I still pull back just in case I do get spotted. Because for all I know, I think the Caliban is in that bush right there. But luckily he has terrible view range. And now the worst case scenario, the enemy is capping. So this is another thing. I got really lucky with that shot. The bloom on this tank when you start moving the hull is absolutely atrocious. And here I get very, very, very lucky. I'm not gonna say I didn't get lucky in this game. You know, you have to get lucky sometimes in these situations. So there, a clutch shot, and he actually shoots at me with premium in the tracks, and the tracks eat the shell. And so I live to fight another day. And now I'm just hoping that the Caliban doesn't have a shot on me. Luckily he doesn't. So now I have this 25-second reload, and I need to think about how I'm going to approach resetting this cap, because I only have a minute and a half. So I'm initially thinking, okay, maybe I want to spot the Caliban, but I want to try to get to these bushes up here, or maybe these bushes, to spot the cap and decap, because they think that they probably think I'm coming from this side, right? The west side. So I move in here, moving really fast, and I spot him. So I want to move back to where I spotted him. You know, take the time, aim in, and miss. Aim in and miss. And now I'm getting a little bit flustered here. Luckily he stops. He lets me put in the last two shots and take him out. Now I turned a, what was that, a 2v1 into a 1v1. And so now I'm thinking, all right, 2 minutes left. You know, I have the better gun, like handling wise. So I want to make sure, and I also have better camo and better view range. So really I want to keep this as long distance as possible. Want to see if I can spot him, because I think he's still in those bushes up there. And I make a bit of a misplay here as well. My approach line, I probably should have like poked these bushes up here, or maybe these bushes over here. And you see, because he's here, he spotted me through this crack. And so now it's very, very obvious where I'm gonna poke up. So I wait the 10 seconds. Luckily my mod pack has the 10 seconds to keep me disciplined. Move up here, and I'm just waiting, seeing if he moves. But keep in mind there's only a minute and a half, and luckily, even though I moved my tracks and my aim was so bad, you know, I got lucky at the end as well. That was a bit of a misplay. The reason why I was turning was because I wanted to reverse, because I wanted to be on this side of the bush instead of this side, because you saw that he blind fired me. That was too obvious, and I probably almost threw the game because of that. But luckily, I came out victorious. So let's go to the post-game stats. Okay, as promised, here's my equipment setup. We have in our firepower slot, improved aiming, so minus 7%. So I have 0.28 accuracy, and then I have vents to improve the reload in my scouting spot. I think you can also put it in the mobility slot. I think that's what you can select when you get the highest tier. And then obviously coded optics for long range maps when I want to spot. And then my secondary setup is same thing except no optics. I swap for RRM. This is for your Himmelsdorf, you know, the maps that are super small. You don't need a spot. So let's see, my view range is 417 without the code optics. So yeah, but I mostly play with this setup. I'd say about 90% of the games I play like this. Yeah, so that's and then my crew, I have Sixth Sense, Situation Awareness, Brothers in Arms, and Recon, so also helps me get to the max. This is my field modification setup. So yeah, you can choose between survivability and scouting. It doesn't really matter. They're both gonna affect the events the same way. And I chose this piece of equipment, which gives you plus 2% view range. I think this is probably the most important. You could do concealment, but really I think if you have that, you should be using bush mechanics, and if you're using them correctly, you won't ever need to utilize this. Yeah, because this is only after firing, and you should only be firing in this tank, you know, in cover or trading effectively. Yeah, and then I also have this, just increasing the durability of suspension. This actually probably saved my life in that last game because my tracks was able to eat that shot. If I didn't have this on, probably would be dead. So definitely use this. And then better aiming circle rather than aiming speed, just making this tank more like a laser. So yeah, that's my setup for the GSOR. Now back to the post-game stats. Alright guys, this is the post-game. Ace Tanker, Radley Walters for 8 kills, Defender, and Top Gun. Let's see, 4,400 damage, not bad, 9 kills, 1,300 base experience, and look at this, 1850, 5,000 damage with the high caliber as well. So that happens when you get the top tier matchup and no one can pen you. This tank is actually, I don't know, I think it's underwhelming because if you're not in this matchup, you don't do that well, but you know, he got in a great matchup and you know, just plowed forward. 28 shots fired, 22 hits, 19 penetrations, and oh my god, we fired so much premium. We lost credits because we don't have a premium. Let's see. We hit 10 tanks, killed 9. And yeah, almost 14-minute battle. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, this is a quick and dirty video, and I hope you guys have a great holiday. Maybe next year I might open some boxes, but we'll see. We'll see how the finances go. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Take care. Happy holidays. Warm out.